Hey everyone, just want to do a quick video here on something that hardly anybody talks about anymore. It was really popular to talk about quite a while ago, but you don't hear much about it anymore, and that is adrenal fatigue. It's when you get so stressed, so anxious, chronically for long periods of time, where you just start to feel completely tired, fatigued for no apparent reason, and you may also get headaches with this. You may also get dizzy. You also may get lightheaded. You also may have digestive issues, things like that. But mainly it's in brain fog. It's mainly just an overwhelming sense of fatigue, and you feel stressed with it. So that's kind of how you know that your adrenal glands are kind of getting worn out. And it could be so what's happening is your adrenal glands make adrenaline for that fight flight freeze response, right? And then once your body realizes is that there's no actual danger, because your body doesn't know the difference between actual danger and perceived danger. So once your body realizes there's no actual danger, it overcompensates from the adrenaline by making too much cortisol. So your adrenal glands then produce too much cortisol. That's what gives you that really kind of tired feeling. So you could be amped up for a while, and then you could just be, you feel like you're crashing, almost as if you had coffee and you're crashing off a coffee or something like that, but you haven't had any coffee. Maybe you're drinking coffee anyway, but you're just overwhelmingly tired. And so I want to give you kind of a quick way to take care of that adrenal fatigue, right? And then also a little bit more of a permanent way to take care of it. So, a real quick way to take care of adrenal fatigue, you'll feel a difference literally within a couple of days, is to take licorice root extract, okay? And this is from Sprouts, and it gives the milligram equivalent on the back. If you can't see it, that's okay, but it gives you the milligram equivalent on the back, and so the extract really gets into your system a lot quicker than the capsules do. But you're gonna want to take between 1,200 milligrams and 1,500 milligrams a day of the licorice root in 3 doses. So 400 milligrams 3 times a day, or 500 milligrams 3 times a day. It depends on, number one, your weight, and number two, really how severe the problem is for you. So you may have to do a little bit of math. So if I start to get a little stressed out, I'll do 45 drops 3 times a day of this, which would be 500 milligrams 3 times a day. And literally, again, you're gonna feel a difference within a couple of days, and so it's very, very quick. The reason you feel a difference so quickly is what licorice root is actually doing, and you have to get the one with the glycerin in it, not the deglycerized that you would take for ulcers or things like that, or heartburn. You have to get the one with the glycerin in it without it having been removed. So and so it'll say deglycerized if they remove the glycerin, but the extracts normally don't remove it because they're more for adrenal issues. So what it does is the active ingredient, the glycerin inside the licorice root, literally it breaks down the cortisol in your body, and it just doesn't allow it to keep recirculating so that you continue to get that tired feeling. It actually breaks it down and turns it into a natural version of cortisone. So that cortisone is what metabolizes and it gives you the metabolic response, and gives you that energy so that the cortisol does not store. So it keeps the cortisol from storing by breaking it down into the cortisone, and that goes in the blood as well as the cells and the organs. So you're going to, like I said, you're going to feel a lot different, a lot better, a lot more energetic within a couple days. Usually, I feel the difference in about 2 days, but give it 4 days at the most. But like I said, I feel the difference in about 2 days, and okay, great, right? Uh, the problem is we don't want to take licorice root all the time, because eventually it's going to have that reverse start having that reverse effect. Your body's going to get confused as to, okay, what am I supposed to do with this cortisol? Am I supposed to keep storing it, keep doing cortisone, and the cortisone eventually can go back into cortisol, and that usually begins happening, depends on the person, but after usually a few weeks. So you don't want to take licorice root. To be safe, I wouldn't take it for more than 2 weeks at a time. You can probably get away with taking it for 3 weeks at a time, but just to be safe, I wouldn't take it for more than 2 weeks at a time because of that effect. Your body, again, it's going to get used to that, and then it's going to start doing other things with the cortisol and the cortisone, which is what you don't want. Also, you got to be cautious about doing licorice root with the glycerin um, in it if you have high blood pressure, because it also can act as a vasoconstrictor, and it can raise your blood pressure. So you want to also kind of keep an eye on that. But other than that, perfectly safe to take in short amounts of time, like a couple weeks at a time. And so what you can do is you can do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, perfectly fine, rotated. 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, until the issue is restored. Now, if you don't treat the underlying issue, of course, it's not going to be restored, and you're going to have to keep doing that. Now, couple ways to treat the underlying issue. Number one is you've got to get a handle on that cycle of stress, anxiety that your body has gotten used to, and your brain too, to be quite honest, has gotten used to as well. Now, there's another supplement you can take for to get rid of too much cortisol in the brain. I can do another video on that, but that's phosphatidylserine, and you're going to have to do the oil version, the soft gel cap version of 200 milligrams 3 times a day of the phosphatidylserine. So that will actually start to remove cortisol from the brain. So if you're having specifically brain fog, that's where that phosphatidylserine will help. Again, 200 milligrams 3 times a day. It's got to be the soft gel form with the oil still naturally in there. You don't want the dried powder form. That's not going to do you much good. You'd have to take way more, and you'd have to take it with fat and all that other stuff. So, but in any event, hypnotherapy is going to be really good for helping with getting rid of that automatic pattern that your brain and body have decided to do of the chronic stress and anxiety, to break that pattern. Hypnotherapy is the best thing that I know of for that. Now, as far as supplements, now if you can't take licorice root, right, long term, what can you take long term? And that is something like this. I really like this one because it's very powerful, but this is an adrenal balancing formula, cortisol balancing formula. This particular one is from Dr. Maxwell, and it's got ashwagandha, it's got rhodiola, it's got L-theanine. So all things that are going to balance your adrenals, balance that cortisol, and depending on how. If it's a mild issue, you would do 1 capsule twice a day. If it's a moderate issue, you do 1 capsule 3 times a day. If it's a severe issue, you really want to get it in there and really turn this around fast, you would do 2 capsules twice a day, so 4 a day total. And you have to watch it, because if you do that much, because in some people, rhodiola gives them too much energy. Other people, it actually makes them tired. So it depends on the person. L-theanine, take too much L-theanine at one time, for some people it can make them tired. So just kind of keep an eye on that. Build up slowly if you need to. But this is actually something that you can take long term, And if you, let's say you start with the 4 capsules a day, 2 twice a day, after about a month you can reduce that. You won't have to take the 4 capsules forever, but then you can maybe get away with 3 a day or even 2 a day, and at intervals, 1 twice a day, and to keep that balanced adrenal cortisol balance going. But this you can take long term. And the only thing with the rhodiola in it can interfere with some antidepressant medication like SSRI. So you kind of have to be aware of that as well. Talk to your doctor about that. But this is something you can do on a long-term basis. So my suggestion is to start do the licorice root, and the Sprouts brand, like I said, is good. Gaia, GAIA brand is good. It'll tell you the milligram equivalent in the extract version, and also Herb Farm, PHARM, Herb Farm. Is another brand that's really good for that. So as far as the licorice root, so that's what I would do. But I would do maybe cycle this a few times, and by the time this cycles a couple times, few times, then this is really in your system as more of a long-term solution, and then hopefully you will not need the licorice root any longer. So that's kind of the idea behind that. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I'll catch you on my next video.